I'm Helen Smith and I'm Head of Supporter Experience at RNIB, and it's my pleasure to be here today at RHS Wentworth Woodhouse. The RNIB's Legacy Garden's here for two reasons. One's to make people aware of how important gift symbols are to RNIB. It's over a third of our income, and so it helps us help many more blind and partially sighted people. And secondly, it's here to help sighted people have a bit of an experience, a bit of an idea of what it's like to have a sight loss condition.
I'm Anna Tyler and I'm the Chair of Trustees at the Royal National Institute of Blind People, and I'm very happily standing in front of the most beautiful garden, which has won 3 awards including Gold, Best Garden Design and Best Construction in Show, and it's really impressive and people are queuing to get in. All of this has been made possible by the players of the Postcode Lottery. So massive thanks to all of you who've played and to the People's Postcode Lottery for supporting this legacy garden.
I'm Paul Hervey-Brookes, the garden designer for the RNIB Legacy Garden. All of the planting in the garden is basically based on the idea of contrast, because I spent a lot of time speaking to different people with varying degrees of sight loss, and one of the things they kept saying to me about was just like, if there's a strong contrast, there's more clarity. So it's split in 2 halves. The first half is much more contrast planting, the second half isn't, so that we can explain that to the visitors going through and kind of guide them through a series of spaces which they would find challenging, so that they have a bit more of an awareness and a perception.
It's a beautiful example of an accessible garden. It's full of colour and structure and movement and scent, all the things that appeal to me as a gardener. And in the middle of this, 2 almost like art installations, pavilions, which show what it's like to live with retinitis pigmentosa and diabetic retinopathy.
These sight pods are, for want of a better description, I suppose, wicker igloo frames, and they've been draped with special cloth that give people the impression when they're looking out how they would see the garden if they had different sight loss conditions. And I think that that's been really inspiring for people. We can never replace lived experience, but what we can do is make people a little bit more aware. And the sim specs come into play there because it's an uncomfortable feeling wearing them and knowing that you can take them off. You know, that's sort of the relief part. But when you think that if you had that condition, you can't just take those glasses off, I think that's what brings it to life for people.
Well, one of the things I'm really pleased about with this garden is every single element of hard landscaping is recycled or waste product. And all of our plants are peat-free grown, which is also really important from an environmental point of view.
The garden in a large part is going to be relocated to Rotherham Hospice, and that's going to bring joy and pleasure to many, many people for many years to come. And of course with legacies, we are planting a seed for the future. Blind and partially sighted people, you know, in generations to come will still need RNIB, and giving a gift in your will is absolutely the best way to ensure that we're here to be able to do that for future generations.
Made possible by players of the People's Postcode Lottery.
RNIB. See differently.